Hey everyone, Michelle here. So this week we're talking about relapse and how to kind of manage and cope with relapse and continue to institute recovery and set up a game plan in order to pull yourself out and get back on the road to recovery. So the one thing that comes to mind with me is that when I started recovery, I thought everything had to fall out perfectly, that um, recovery would just be the straight path and I would just work on things and be done with it. But as I've worked on recovery, I have had relapses, I've had lapses, and I've had slips. And I think it's important to realize the difference between all of them. A lapse can be simply just engaging in symptoms once, whereas a relapse is full blown slipping back into the disorder. Now, I think that it's really important to have a game plan when you're in a relapse and when things are just so overwhelming and that you're living in your eating disorder. Um, One of my things, I was just speaking with a friend yesterday, and I said, like, I was talking to her, and at one point I said, I'm fine. And then I thought to myself, it was like, as soon as you say to yourself, like, talk yourself out of things, saying that, oh no, it's fine, I'm fine. I think that's one of the first signs that something's wrong and you need to talk to somebody. And I think that having a list of people that you know you can call, even if you feel that you're fine, nothing's wrong, it's not a real relapse, you just messed up today, it's just a lapse. Having a list of people that you can call, whether it be a lapse or a full-blown relapse, a list of people that you know you can trust and reach out to. I know in my phone I have smiley faces next to the people who I know I can call in a moment's notice, and they would drop everything that they're doing in order to talk to me. And I think that's really important to have a support network and systems set up so that you can reach out, whether it be to a friend, family member, another loved one, or to your therapist. Also, having hotlines accessible through your cell phone in case you need them is a wonderful way to have that support available and ready. You don't have to use it every day, especially when your recovery is going great. But having those numbers on hand definitely makes it that much easier to institute like recovery and continue to get better and not live in this relapse. And I think that, yeah, I've been in relapses. I think that it's like you have this mindset where you just want to you just want to give it all. You want to give all of it to your eating disorder because you're just done. Recovery is hard, but I have to say it is so worth it. Recovery is so worth it, and it does get better. Things may be so overwhelming, but nothing is as liberating as being able to say, you want to know what, screw you, Ed. I can live my life without the self-hatred that you inflict upon me and just be ultimately free of your manipulative grasp. Like, that is absolutely astounding to me. Um, but I think that in addition to having a support network in place for recovery, especially in times of relapse, I think that it's also important to have a list of coping skills readily available whenever you feel the urge, for example, to binge or purge, so that you are able to fully like use what you've learned in recovery and learn through therapy in order to get better and to pull yourself out of your eating disorder. And I think that I mean, I've been there. Those times where you're sitting and you're debating, like, do I really want to get better? Do I want to fight for recovery when it's so easy to slip back into this relapse? I've already gone halfway there. Why not keep going? Why not just continue to live in the disorder? And I think that there is like an apathy that comes where you just pause and have to think to yourself, why are you recovering? Um, which is one of the things that really has been huge in my recovery. I had to write down a list of reasons why I was recovering for those moments when I would doubt myself of why I wanted to recover. Having messages from myself to me saying that things do get better, that you can live a life without your eating disorder. To even just point out the things that I have lost through my eating disorder can be so relieving in itself because you realize just how much of a weight your eating disorder is. And I think that by having things like that available that you can kind of read and look through is definitely a motivation to get you back on the road to recovery. And I think that in regards to meal plans, that it is important to take care of yourself. Your health has to be the forefront priority in your life. And whether it be through restricting, binging, purging, all of them are such negative and self-destructing habits that it's really important that you have either a rule of thumb on hand or continue to stick to like a structured out meal plan. That means that you're eating healthy, that you're eating proper amounts, healthy amounts, and not going over and binging and not restricting yourself. One of the most important rules that it's not, let's say, a rule because I don't want to set rules for myself, but when I know that I'm in a restricting bout and that things are getting worse in my recovery, because because mine's restrictive type, the rule of thumb has been don't exceed 4 hours. And that thought of not being able to exceed 4 hours without eating, yes, it's scary thinking you have to eat every 4 hours, especially when everything in your mind is telling you to continue to restrict and to just delve deeper into that abyss of the unknown. But having that rule on hand and knowing that every 4 hours you have to have something to eat is so vital because it keeps you on track and it keeps emphasizing the point that it's not about the food, that eating disorders have nothing to do with what you're eating. It is the emotional level and interpretation of food. And I think that that's such an important rule to keep in mind for restrictive recovery. I think for binging, it's important to eliminate that as an option, to not even have it available, which then in turn eliminates purging because it's not an option. Having a list of options such as calling a friend, calling a hotline, a list of coping skills such as drawing, singing, writing, going somewhere, go on a walk, just be out, whatever. Having a list of coping skills on hand and having binging and purging off the list, something that just not able to do. But I think that in regards to recovery, it is so important to continue to get as much support as you can. And I've been there when you want to say, well, you want to know what, I don't want support, or I don't feel like I need the support. And in those moments when you're telling yourself that you don't need it, that you're not sick enough, or you're not so far into the relapse that you need help, those are the moments to just pick up your phone, call immediately somebody out of your support team and say, I don't know why, but I'm talking myself out of this. And just talk to somebody, be open, continue to work with your therapist, continue to work on recovery, and have that support network in sight, but continue to maintain eating. And eating is scary. I know eating healthy is scary. And I think that it's so important to continue to eat in a healthy way, follow your meal plan, follow a healthy diet in order to really show that eating disorders aren't about the food, and really allow your focus to go on whatever the issue is that has been triggered, has triggered this relapse. So I think that I definitely have to recommend support and having your food continue to remain consistent. And definitely using your communications with others in order to really branch out and get the support that you need, and know that you don't have to be so far back into your eating disorder. If you are struggling in any way, if you have relapsed, you deserve help. I promise you. You might feel that some people won't care and that what do they mind if I continue to engage in self-destructive behavior such as binging, purging, starving, and the like. And I want to say that I care. I care about all of you guys, and I hope that whenever you guys are struggling or in a relapse, that you know that I'm here to listen to you, that I care and I want you to get better. And I know that through my personal experience that recovery is so worth it, that everything that Ed has been telling you about how you'll get fat, how nobody will like you, and you'll just be an outcast when you're recovered is so far from the truth. You will feel so liberated when you are able to live without Ed. And I think that's something definitely to hold on to. And that I want to be the voice here to say that it does get better and that you can recover. No doubt in my mind, you can recover. So I want to move on, because I know this video is getting long, to the question of the week, which is, what is your favorite, or what is your dream holiday or vacation? I would have to say that my dream holiday would really just be to travel anywhere, specifically in Europe. I love the feeling of being in Europe. It's amazing. But there are places like I do want to go. I want to go to New Zealand. I want to go to Australia as well. Um, but I really love to travel, and as long as I can go anywhere. I'm not a big fan of the metropolitan cities, but I feel that the cities in Europe have been so different as opposed to like New York City, where it's like Times Square, City of Life. That I think that it's so different that I kind of prefer European cities. So I'd have to say really anywhere. I don't really have a dream vacation. As long as I am going to Europe, like to me, that's so amazing to think. So, but yes, so that is all I have for this video, guys. I hope that you all are well, and I will see you guys next week. Okay, bye.